Hey. I ain't got no word.
Of course you don't have any work.
I ain't got no word.
You're not playing today.
Cause my team's 1-1. Let me rub the hem. Let me rub the hem. Let me rub the hem. At least he buddy.
But he ain't want to put the helmet on last week.
Hell no, not for seven field goals. No, it didn't earn that. I'm happy now. We good. We can focus ahead to Sunday. We on Monday. Bengals. We got Joe Burrow.
Every damn episode. You gotta find a way.
To start the show with the Commanders.
I didn't plan to. It just that's what my freestyle led me. This is at least right. 3 in a row. It is a little selfish of me. I apologize, but I'm telling you, it's my plan. This is just I'm going at the flow of my own whatever. My energy just be taking me there. It's Commanders. What we do.
What up? Welcome into Outspoken React. Say what you need me to say. As always, I am Cordell.
Marqus.
D-Rob.
Who does?
Oh.
It is Monday night game going on. Oh, Jeremy already can't stand you behind, just to let you know.
Already.
I'm ready. Up, jump.
Look, man. Blame your front office. Don't blame me. This is not my fault. I'm sorry.
You don't know his front office is good enough.
They signed Daniel Jones and let Saquon go.
Bad decision. They did make some bad decisions.
That's my fault.
But
thank you.
Speaking of bad offices, let's start there.
Oh.
Panthers bench Bryce Young. News came out earlier today. If you don't know, now you know. Does anybody want to take the start on this one?
It's just tough because it happens so quickly in terms of you have in Bryce Young's career, new coach, you had a not so great owner, you lost your best weapon just before you even got there. Lost DJ, lost Christian McCaffrey, who were two young pieces also.
Both 26 years old.
Both in their prime. Yeah.
Didn't have to let them go necessarily. Then you get rid of your best edge rusher, right? You bring in
also 26.
Supposed to be a quarterback guru that comes in to help you get your foundation, fix a lot of what was soured in your first year, and you have 2 games to do that. Granted, there is some balance, but this Bryce Young has looked fun, like frantic, scared, unprepared for the moment. So I understand why if you're thinking about winning, but in terms of like when we was talking about earlier, the energy that you feel, not only not having anybody in your corner, your front office, your head coach, your vice president, everybody getting together to decide that you're buns, but even in the locker room, walking around talking with folks, having people, if Andy Dalton starts winning, seeing the energy that he's giving them compared to what Bryce is bringing, right? That's gonna make him feel some type of way. So it creates a very nasty situation.
Yeah, I think it's one of these things where, Dave Canales has been, labeled as kind of a quarterback whisperer based off of when he was a QB coach in Seattle. Yeah. Geno's first year, Geno had the best year of his career in Seattle at that time. Then the very next year, he becomes the OC with the Buccaneers. Baker has the best year of his career, and they get to the NFC Divisional. It's like now with Bryce Young, it's like, well, is Bryce Young really broken, or because he's a head coach now, is he afforded the same opportunity of being with the quarterback at all times in order to get him in the best positions and get the most out of Bryce Young with the offense that they have? I mean, only time will tell. If things are still bad with Andy Dalton coming in, then obviously like it's a much bigger issue than just a Bryce Young thing. I think Bryce Young has definitely lost confidence from where he was last year to where he is now. But I do think that it's crazy how premature I think it is with just 2 games in and you're already just like, yeah, nah, like we're good. And it also makes me think of like if you felt like or have seen that it was this bad already, like why not play in the preseason to kind of get confidence up before the season? But, at the end of the day, I feel like Bryce Young is done with the Panthers, but I think he gets another opportunity somewhere else. We'll see when and where.
This the Panthers when you're looking at them. I had asked Marcus the question earlier, like when did the wheels start falling off with this franchise? You go back, you could easily say 2015 when they lost the Super Bowl. I They lost to the Broncos. They were not really the same team after that. But
You say they peaked there. I don't know if they went down.
I don't know. They've been to the playoffs since then.
Right. So, but he pointed out the moment they traded McCaffrey. Like that was the moment he felt like the franchise said, "Okay, you know what? They're just throwing the towel." Everything it's been going on since, as you guys mentioned, Brian Burr's situation. You know, with Christian McCaffrey, the bumping of the heads between Frank Reich and David Tepper, and all these David Tepper incidents like this. For some, and I don't want to pick on the team, but honestly, every time I hear or see something about the Panthers, I think of circus music. That's all it is right now. It's a circus, a circus. That's exactly what it is. And there's another word I want to say, but I'm not going to say it. It's pretty vulgar, but it's this clearly they're clearly throwing in the towel.
Yeah.
To bench a quarterback 2 weeks into a season after only 18 career games. Teams do not bench their starter at this point in time. And you did it after 2 games. There's no way you can go back to this kid. This kid's confidence is shot right now. Even if it's December and you're like, all right, Bryce, and trot back out there and see what you can give us. In his mind, he's probably thinking like, what will I get pulled for now? Because I didn't call a timeout when you wanted me to, or I didn't break the huddle the right way. Like what is it?
That's tough.
It's probably best for both parties to part ways at this point. At first, I didn't necessarily feel they needed to go that route, but the more I think about it, and the more I think about this kid being in that locker room now, where he feels probably he has no one in his corner, because it went public that his head coach, his GM, and his vice president voted to bench him.
Mm-hmm.
And that's where we're at now. So it's probably best for both parties to part ways, to be quite honest.
I don't think it's best for both parties to part ways. I think it's best for I think it's best for both parties to stay together and realize that they need to stay together. Because this is what bad organizations do. This is what a bad organization looks like. This to me is very similar, honestly, to the Cardinals situation when they got rid of Josh Rosen and drafted Murray. And it's not like they've had any sort of success. They've had, sure, some highlight games, but they have not had any remote real success of what they were targeting when they drafted Kyler Murray to this point.
So how can you convince both sides that it can still work?
And why? Like,
why what?
Like, why do you think it could work still now?
So here's my first of all, I blame ownership 1,000% because
that's fair.
Because I'm tired of hearing, well, I didn't draft this guy, so I don't have to be tied down to him. I'm not bringing somebody in unless they're going to be tied down to the guy that I have. Mm-hmm. I can't have you just, I'm not tied down to it. It is what it is. That's stupid hiring on their part. So now it's like, all right, well, we're in this now. If anything, then I have to get rid of the coach. I'm not getting rid of him. I'm getting rid of the coach. I just drafted Bryce Young.
Did that already.
How long do you wait? How much tape do you need before you like, all right, this really isn't our guy?
Not to mention on top of that.
That's what I need.
Not to mention on top of that, you had a head coach, 3 different head coaches in the same time span. You have Matt. If you're Tepper, you have Matt Rule. You got rid of him. You brought in Frank Reich. Yes. 1 year, you got rid of him.
Then Tabor as an interim coach.
Well, I mean,
moved on, and then you hired Canales.
So here's my thing with Reich and with Canales. With Reich and Canales, they've made their living based off of Reich, Colts, Andrew Luck. Then he goes to the Eagles, and he's with Carson Wentz, right? And then he goes, obviously, his next stop is in Carolina. Doesn't work. Now you bring Canales. Seahawks, Bucks, and then he makes it here. To me, the similarities between Reich and Canales, besides having a young quarterback, is that those young quarterbacks had weapons to throw the ball to. In each one of those stops for both of those teams, the Eagles had weapons, Andrew Luck had weapons, Geno had weapons,
Baker
had weapons. What does Bryce Young have? He has a rookie in Xavier Legette who you're supposed to think is supposed to save this. That's the only difference that you
He's
make.
not even on the field.
Right. So from last year to this year, the only thing that you did do to improve his weaponry was draft a guy who's not even on the field.
And Deontay Johnson.
Oh, and Deontay. That's not going to get it done. So so when I'm sitting here looking at this, I'm not blaming Bryce Young for this. Like, you want to know when I'm going to judge him is when I actually see him have pieces around him. And it's not even just that. It's not like he's got an O-line either. So what does he have? He ain't got no weapons nor an O-line. Andrew Luck had weapons. He didn't have the O-line. Carson Wentz had an O-line and the weapons, and he was going on to be an MVP, and they were like 13-0 or some crap before he got hurt, and then they ended up going off to win. Yeah, something like that, right? Like, I can't sit here and blame Bryce Young for this and say he's the problem, and I can't sit here and blame the coaches and say they're the problem, because neither side have everything they need to work with for an offense to be sustainable. I don't have an O-line, so I can't run the ball. I don't have an O-line, so I can't pass the ball. I don't have weapons to even try and pass the ball out on time. What do we do?
Wait, but the head coach and the GM and the vice president were the ones that decided on it.
Right.
You look at quarterbacks just in general. There are only a few quarterbacks who have the ability to overcome not having at least a couple of those foundations.
I don't think so.
I think there are a couple. When we look at Baker, when we look at Jared Goff, for example, when we look at dudes like that who have things that are set up for them and they can be good quarterbacks. If they were having what the Panthers are working with, what are we going to see from them? Right?
Well, I mean,
so I'm saying in terms of with Bryce Young, how long does it take for you to realize that you're a game changer? You can put a team on your back, or if you can just put them in the run of the mill.
More than 18 games, I can tell you that.
Mahomes, year 2, Patrick Mahomes would have been successful with this team. This surrounding. No, I'm saying if I took, as great as we know Patrick Mahomes is, right? So he would have never been that if he was with the Carolina Panthers with this operation. That's how I feel. Like, because you're sitting here saying carry the team on the back. No way. Young Patrick Mahomes in year 2 would not have been able to do this.
Point would be able to overcome more than what Bryce Young is overcoming.
Yeah, but he grew.
Development.
He looks scared. Like Bryce Young
would be too. But to be fair, he's been dealing with this since his rookie year.
Like what?
Like,
why shouldn't I be scared? Tell me that.
That's a great question. There are plenty of reasons to be scared. I'm saying you can look at how Patrick Mahomes is able to maneuver and get up out of situations and at least create a wider range for what could happen play to play than what Bryce has showed us.
But he was developing into that. It's not like he just came out into the league and did that.
I'm saying the floor is play. Patrick Mahomes look better than Bryce Young right now.
In this particular situation, with everything that's going on with them for several years, and man, I know this is probably not going to get solved, or this is not going to be the ultimate solution. But I just can't help but look at Tepper. Like, all this is happening under his eye. Hiring Matt Rule, giving him almost an 8-year deal or 10-year deal, fresh out of college. That didn't work out. Then of course we went through the Frank Wright thing. We're doing Dave Canales now.
And the thing is with Frank Wright is he only made it like 4 games.
Right.
And I think that's where the downfall was.
And you gotta keep in mind that at a certain point in time under Matt Rule, this team traded for Baker and had Sam Darnold at the same time.
Mm-hmm.
Trying to figure that situation out. We see how this franchise fumbled the Brian Burns situation. They let this premier edge rusher go for nothing.
But somebody was going to give up, was it the Rams?
The Rams were going to give 2 first.
2 first.
And they said no.
And then they just, the next year, but they give them up for a second.
For a second.
Like
this, I'm
bad management.
You're right. Yeah. But I can't help but start from there. All this happened under your umbrella.
I don't think Bryce Young is culpable for what's happened to him.
Like, he's guilty for the bad play, but it's like he's guilty because yes, he's had bad play, but the foundation is just so bad that it's like if you expect every quarterback to feel like, yeah, they got to be the guy to just carry everything, that's just not who everybody is. Those are only like a dime a dozen you see like every
But they develop into that. They don't just start that way.
No. I mean, C.J. Stroud is someone that people always say.
He had weapons.
No, he didn't.
But even
Nico and Tank, he had weapons.
No, but like those guys weren't them until he got there.
Well,
so
Tank was a rookie, right?
But yes,
Nico
like definitely was a guy.
But he had talent to work with. Now, yes, they evolved. I agree with you. But he doesn't even have that ability. These wide receivers can't do that.
No, I'm saying we would have said that Adam Thielen was better than every receiver that the Texans had before they started playing. We would have said that because he's the only one that was the proven product.
Agreed.
But then now, obviously, yes, you see that the talent and CJ Stroud has elevated said talent. So now we're thinking, bro, Nico Collins could be a number one. We're thinking Tank Dell is a great receiver, even though we hadn't seen it. But they both came in together and they both elevated into what they were. Like, I just think that, and they're always going to be tied together because technically Frank Wright wanted CJ Stroud. And the reason they went Bryce Young was because Tepper wanted Bryce Young. Mm-hmm. So I think that kind of ruined their relationship already. But now, every time Bryce Young is on the field, it's like, oh, man, well, remember, Frank Wright did want CJ Stroud and ended up not being a thing. And now they have Bryce Young, and now it's just like a missed opportunity.
I feel like big picture, with what you were leading to in terms of building for said player, I don't trust the Panthers right now to do that for him. That's why I think he needs to go.
Yeah, I think, yeah.
Because if Homeboy is not going to get that foundation, clearly he needs a lot. Just as a basic quarterback.
I don't think he needs a lot.
No, in terms of, I'm talking footwork, in terms of being comfortable in the pocket, stepping up instead of retreating.
Like even things like that.
No, that was him.
He had those things.
I will say that.
I just think that like the lost confidence in what is around him makes him lose those.
But there are certain parts of his game when you're watching the film. There are certain parts of his game that he had coming into the NFL, and he's completely lost it. There's a lot of issues. There's a lot of issues with footwork.
He never had.
He did not show at Alabama. So and that's definitely a diminishing talent or skill, but it's also, like as you mentioned, the confidence, the how good am I really, and
not even the how good am I really, but how much do you even trust the people around you to do their job enough, to where you feel like you can just do your stuff.
And for me, this would be my last point, but he's always going to be tied to CJ and Caleb because everyone knows the trade that happened in the top 5 between Chicago and Carolina, and how the Panthers wanted CJ Stroud, but they went the other route and got Bryce Young. But the trade that was made between the Panthers and the Bears also netted the Bears Caleb Williams. Mm-hmm. So they had that opportunity, even though they were still a bad team. They still were able the extra pick they were able to use to get Caleb. So he's always going to be tied to them. And it's not a good thing that even across the NFL right now, 18 games in, he's benched. You look at CJ and this type of year CJ had. Granted, Caleb has only been in for 2 games. But damn, Caleb looked better yesterday than most of what we've seen from Bryce up to this point. And I know he had 2 picks. I get it. But there's still for a team.
Like, but Bryce has actually had good games in the league. And that's the thing that, like,
I can only really remember one, and that was against Green Bay last year at home. But of course, it's more downs than ups.
Yeah, for sure.
Let me ask you guys this. All right, moving this forward. Yeah. If he were to leave, I can only see three teams, 5 if I'm generous.
I wonder if this is the same 3 that we thought of.
Yeah.
I got Raiders.
No.
Who's their quarterback? I'm sorry.
Gardner Minshew.
I'm sorry. No, that's not a long-term solution. So to me,
no, I think they would rather just go rookie quarterback.
Yeah.
Well, now the
or get one in free agency.
Yeah, but okay.
Raiders to me, Titans.
No.
Will Levis ain't it. I mean,
they just traded Malik. Why would they trade Malik and then bring Bryce in?
Because Bryce is probably better than anything that they have.
You're moving young quarterbacks so you can have your young quarterback grow.
Will Levis has had higher shit. Just had same floor. That's really all it is.
I will take this.
Okay. Right. Who else?
Will Levis
and the Giants.
No.
And the Giants. So the thing is,
okay, who y'all got?
To me, Like these are bad situations, right?
Yes.
And you don't want him to go from a bad situation
To another one.
to another bad situation. So we thought Rams week 1.
No.
Hold on.
Yes.
That's the point.
No. I'm not thinking about back.
No.
There to be a back.
Bro,
Reset.
yes. Here's
Reset.
but here's what you're missing. You're missing that there have been quarterbacks.
How is he a star in Tennessee now already?
Yeah,
I would put him to compete with Will Levis right now. Right now, I would have them compete.
You say that after 2 games?
I'd say that off of last year into this year. I'm not going off of just this year. I'm saying that off of last because I didn't believe in Will Levis last year.
Did he beat Bryce last year? He did beat Bryce. But everybody beat Bryce. But look, the thing about Bryce is you want him to be able to learn behind an older veteran quarterback.
Yes.
And then when it's his time to be the guy, he can be the guy. But I think the Rams is good because you have a guy in Stafford that honestly, he's already talked about how he's thought about retirement. Mm-hmm. I can see if they don't make the playoffs this year, he's like, hey, like I'm done. And then you also give him the a head coach that's an offensive head coach that knows how to put you in good situations, like Sean McVay. To me, that would be a good spot.
He's got an organization that's not afraid to go get talent and put around whoever they need.
Yes. Also, the Browns. The Browns, because Deshaun Watson, I mean, he only has so much more time. It's only this year and next year guaranteed money. After that, they're fine. So you could be like, okay, cool. You put him with a guy in Stefanski, who is a good offensive play caller, knows how to get good guys. They have good guys on the offense already.
He's not going to lean on Bryce.
That's what I'm saying. You don't have to lean on Bryce to win all the games. You just have to make him
something that Stefanski stays.
But I think he will.
The assumption.
I think he will. I don't think the Browns fire Stefanski anytime soon, especially after making the playoffs with Joe Flacco. I think they give him another opportunity after Watson. I don't think it's just a Watson, but
give him a third quarterback.
I mean, he's done fine already with what he's had. So and right now they're 1-1, so we'll see how that goes. And then what was the other team?
I think you mentioned
that was one team.
That's not a good situation.
Yeah, that's not a good
situation. This is a kid, his confidence is shattered. And to put him into another locker room that's probably not going to be the same. You just said Stefanski may not last. Dayball may not be there next year. That whole front office may not be there next year.
You don't know who's gonna what that's gonna be. Oh, we said the Seahawks.
Yeah.
The Seahawks are the other option of
another strong organization.
I'm not looking for him to be a backup. That's why. That's why I'm ignoring. I ignored everything.
But he's not ready. But what makes you think he's ready?
These are long-term guys.
We've talked already before about teams rushing players to the field simply because he's a whatever draft pick. How do you know he's really ready to be a starter right now?
After what he's been through?
At the 18 games, you're going to uproot him and put him in another bad situation and say, okay, thrive.
I don't think the Giants are a horrible situation for him to be in.
That's a terrible.
Really?
I don't think that's a horrible situation. First,
I wouldn't say so.
I don't think it's a
situation.
Defense, but offensive line is just as bad. And then, I guess you have neighbors that you can build off of, but that's it.
I take neighbors for anyone.
But I'm saying, that's just one piece.
But the offensive line is just as bad.
That's what I'm saying. More than I trust him now.
So
the offensive line is just
yeah.
Right, but so we're talking about next year, right? Do I think that they can correct an offensive line and add a weapon by next year?
I don't believe in the Giants to do anything because they haven't in how long?
I think they can.
But
the Panthers didn't though.
How long did it take him?
The Panthers didn't. So what would you think?
The Giants are a better organization than the Panthers.
A guy that just gave, better than the Panthers, yes. Better than the Panthers, yes, but that's old.
It's the same organization that just let Saquon walk.
For Daniel Jones.
Their best players.
You know how they treat running backs. You know how they treat running backs.
Daniel Jones.
No. I think that the Giants made a crucial mistake in signing Daniel Jones. I do not argue that. But the decision to let Saquon go, that is strictly because he's a running back. And we know that's just how they treat running backs.
And they said on Hard Knocks, they was just like, we gave Daniel Jones $40 million to not hand it to the running back. And you expecting
that was bad. That was bad. I'm telling you, I agree with you there. They made to me that was their big error. But I don't think that one error. I'm gonna sit here and
they've had multiple errors.
No, I think that was their error. It was just a trickle down effect. From
so what about all the offensive linemen they drafted that just were bust?
They're trying.
Andrew,
that's different. They're trying.
The Panthers.
I'm not going to kill you if you're putting in the effort to try and draft
right. The Panthers gave out.
We all know it's
a Panthers. The Panthers. Hold on. In the last the last 3 years, they put $100 million on their both starting guard spot, and they drafted Iquanu at left tackle.
That's
in the last 3 years. They've been trying too. Trying doesn't win games.
Do you think those guys were worth that money?
Hell no.
But that's all that.
But I also don't think Evan. But I also don't think Evan Neal is worth his draft stock right now. Where he was taken in the first round, he's looked terrible. But what?
If you're drafting somebody versus signing somebody who you've already seen their body of work, that's two different things.
They drafted Iquanu in the top 10.
No, I'm talking about those guys. Saying that the Panthers signed.
No, but
right, and I saw your body of work, and you still gave him.
But the starting left tackle has gotten worse in the last 3 years. He was better as a rookie. He's gotten worse each year.
Are we talking about for the Panthers or the Giants?
Yes.
For the Panthers.
Yes.
Okay. So now what are you saying about the Giants?
Their tackle, the offensive line situation is still bad. It's just that they drafted bad.
They drafted bad. The other ones are signing people bad. Right?
Yes.
Either way, take a team that's continuing because if you're drafting bad, that is like,
bro. You draft
it's a lottery.
You drafted
signed bad.
You drafted bookend tackles in the first round. You drafted a left and a right tackle in the first round the last 4 years, and they're still not good.
I understand what you're saying,
and you just gave Andrew Thomas more money this offseason.
I understand what you're saying. I'm literally just saying that I trust that the Giants, because every team has misses.
Yes.
Every team has misses. So I'm not going to kill you for your misses, but I will kill you the way that I'm killing the Giants if you're signing somebody who does not need to be signed.
Okay, how many?
And I feel like the Panthers are signing all the wrong people and literally trading away all the good people.
Do you think Bryce Young needs to stay yesterday?
I think he needs to stay with the coach.
Didn't they sign
that
Waller?
Will actually believe in it?
Didn't they sign Waller?
Similar to
but they don't have
Tua.
Didn't they sign Waller?
This is a Tua situation.
Sign Waller. 1 year later, he's out of the NFL.
This is a Tua situation.
This is 2 years later, whatever. He's out of the NFL.
Now that I think about it, we're going through this. This is like watching Tua all over. That's how I feel about this. It's like I'm watching Tua get benched. This, that, the Fitzpatrick, you come in, and then all of a sudden you bring in a coach who actually believes in him, surround him properly, and let him go.
The difference was they was actually winning games with Tua. They just didn't like how it looked.
Yeah.
I don't believe they were winning games with Tua.
Yeah, they were.
Who benches somebody when they're winning?
He never had a losing record. Not in the
Flores last year they won 7 straight to get to.
But they went 9-8 like both years.
Yeah. Just to get above 500.
Yeah.
They were that, especially that last year. They were winning late, but it just looked ugly.
It just didn't look great.
He was still turning the ball.
But they were winning games enough to be in the playoff conversation. But just look at right here.
I wasn't gonna go to his record. I was gonna go to the Dolphins.
That's what I'm saying. His record.
That's.
He does.
The Panthers gonna put people around him to.
I think his situation is kind of like how Sam Darnold's was when he was with the Jets and the Panthers, where it's just like there's nothing there, so it's just hard to evaluate. And it's like we see in these first 2 games with the Vikings, that he's actually looked great.
So even if you said that it was similar to a Tua situation, and you outlined that they got a young coach, they brought in the right players, the right resources around them. So what have you, and you also mentioned that the Panthers have been terrible at their free agency signings. Yeah. So what gives you the belief that they will properly put resources around him like the Dolphins did for Tua?
No, you're right. Pepper's the problem. He's the biggest problem.
And he ain't leaving.
And he's not leaving. So you are right there. But if he wants to me, if he wants to grow as an owner, he needs to keep his quarterback and find
What billionaire do you think is like, but he wants to grow?
If he wants to win, he needs to figure out how to improve himself because everything he does is like a child.
I think the first.
I need to win now. I need gratification.
I think the first
do long term.
The first place he needs to start is continuity at head coach. You've had 3 different head coaches the past 3.
GM head coach.
Yes.
Yes.
You need to start there first. He's not
firing a head coach 4 games in. He has a problem. His attention span is
can't teach y'all about
Cowboys fans.
Yeah, let's go somewhere else.
All right. There was something else.
We had the
Debo
Samuel.
Injuries. Man, right real quick, the only thing I want to touch is 49ers right now. Man. No Debo for the foreseeable future. Next few weeks.
No McCaffrey.
Hey, Brandon Ayuk.
This is it.
It's your time, dog.
You got paid for a reason, right? Come on, big number 1.
You got wide receiver money.
All pro.
You got wide receiver money. You're supposed.
According to Marqus, you the reason why they won games. So
hey,
I'm just reason.
Right. That's what you said.
I'm just saying, bro.
They said you could win without Debo.
They gave you this money. They gave you this money.
I didn't say it ain't McCaffrey.
If Jawan Jennings is out producing you on these next few weeks, we're going to have a problem, big dog.
Now, the biggest team, or the team that is going to suffer the most because of this, where they drop it from, is definitely the Rams. I thought they were playoff.
Oh, yeah, they're hurt. Right
without Puka,
yeah.
Without Jonah Jackson starting, and they lost safety.
John Johnson. Yeah.
Both to the Scouts.
They already had 3 starting linemen out before.
Mm-hmm. And, Matt Stafford can only do.
And they're still trying to overcome not having
Yeah, that's why they just lost 41-10.
Yeah, this is not good for the Rams.
But it's gonna be interesting.
Hey, look.
What do you think?
This is why I think that, but this could be the last year of Stafford and maybe McVay.
McVay too.
About time.
Like 2 years. Yeah.
Super Bowl win.
They were thinking about doing it.
So
you gotta.
Yeah, my question that I was going to ask you guys is who injuries? Who do you think got hit the worst?
The Rams.
Rams. Yeah, I don't think it's a question, man. Rams.
If not the Rams, I mean,
honestly,
it's just there's a lot of black pretty questions when we've seen without McCaffrey and or Debo last year.
Man, this man tried to say it was because Trent Williams was out, some crap like that.
That was me.
It was you?
That was me.
And not because Debo was out, it was because Trent Williams was out.
I was not.
I'm a little concerned with Tua, honestly, man, and the Dolphins. I don't know where they're going to be as a team right now with going forward with this offense. Like,
I say I for Tua, it just depends on when he gets back. But we know he's going to get
coming back.
No, he's coming back. But I think, and their bye is when.
I think they have a week 6 bye, so week 7.
You guys might be out the playoff picture.
Right, that's my point. You guys have heard me say that before. Having a bad start to the season in the AFC, you're not making the playoffs. I'm sorry. You got to get off to a good start. They with their upcoming schedule that they have, they still got to go to Seattle. They still have the Colts as well on the schedule. They got to go on the road for that.
Colts don't look that good.
Well, it's still. I mean, it's a team going on the road. I mean, I don't
have their games going into their bye. I'll lay this out for you guys. It is. We have Seattle at Seattle versus Tennessee, and then at Patriots. They just got to get through those 3 games, and then they get their bye.
I'm not sure they get through those 3 games with a winning record. They might go 1-2. Maybe 0-3.
So if they go,
maybe.
So they've won 1. If they can win one of those games, then they finish with 2-3.
Yeah,
2-3 going into the bye. Tua can come back from 2-3, and then you have the Colts.
I don't know
Colts, Arizona, but then you're at Buffalo again.
I don't know if they're 2-3. I don't know.
You're saying they're gonna lose everything.
You think they're gonna?
I mean, Skylar Thompson. To be fair, Skylar Thompson in the playoff game did play close with the Bills. So
but that was
that defense was.
But who's to say their defense can't have a game like that?
They can't.
That they can't. Not against any of those teams.
No. Why? Because I don't. Yes, that's exactly what I was about to say. Oh. That's exactly where I was going to go. That's why.
And a guy that hasn't played in over a year, you expect him to just come off the bench and say, "All right, we'll keep this train rolling offensively"?
Did we not see Malik Willis just win a game?
It happens.
That's what I'm saying, bro. It happens, bro. Like
I give
nobody's
them,
saying.
How much more you expect to see from Malik Willis win?
We literally said one game.
I think that they could.
You make it seem like we said they were going to. We said they were win.
You also made it seem like they wiped the floor with the Colts. They were. I mean, that was still a 2-possession game in the fourth quarter. They didn't.
But I'm saying they were able to win the game on the road.
You think?
Last time,
No, they were at home.
My bad.
Well, you talking about Will Levis?
So you guys. So you think Skylar can go into Seattle and get a dub?
No,
we said one game out of the 3.
I think he's going to lose to Seattle. I think they can beat Tennessee, and I think they can beat Patriots.
Sure, they can beat Tennessee. They can beat Tennessee last year, and they lost at home on one match.
But I'm saying I think that they'll.
You don't think they can win one?
I think it's possible.
Okay,
that they don't win one. Yes. So we can also say it's possible that they win one.
I guess.
I think there is a.
Like, what's about one game?
I'm going to give them a higher percent chance of winning one.
One.
Than
just one.
The next 3.
It wouldn't surprise me if they lost, honestly.
You should want them to win.
Yeah.
I don't want them to win like this. They need to win with Tua.
I don't want them to win like this.
Plus, I'm also
we're not in a good position. The beggars can't be choosers.
Plus, I'm not going to sit. No, I'm not going to sit here and hold. Are you going to hold the same expectations for a team that? When Jake Browning came in, did you still feel like, man, they can
win one game? Yeah, they can win one game. Like this ain't like, the backup saying they ain't never win.
The offense also struggled enough for them not to make the playoffs because they didn't have Joe.
Yes, but that's why you can win one game.
Skylar Thompson.
You should expect your backup to be able to win a game.
Just one out of 3.
That's like the minimum. Like, dog.
But just win a game
on my roster.
Who's in worse shape? The Rams or Dolphins?
The Rams.
Dolphins.
Rams are in worse shape.
No, the Dolphins are in worse shape.
How?
I think the Rams are in worse shape.
Because the quarterback is the most important position.
But he doesn't have receivers, offensive line.
But if I have a Lambo, but I don't have the keys to get into the Lambo, well, how good is that?
But they just got beat 41-10.
Are you talking about the Rams?
Yeah.
I understand that.
The Cardinals.
To the Cardinals.
I think people are underestimating the Cardinals because of what they saw against Buffalo.
41-10. And you expect them to they got to play the 49ers?
Miami lost 31-10.
But they got to play. I mean, I'd rather lose 31-10.
And it probably would have been worse if Tua wasn't in the game.
Skylar played that defense, right? He should know. He should have been able to. Should have. He played against the Bills. So he should have been able to put.
But with Stafford, they lost 41-10. That's even worse.
No.
So 31-10 is not worse than 41-10.
So this is what I'm saying to you. I'm saying the starting quarterback lost 31-10. Right?
And the starting quarterback lost 41-10.
Okay. Now, if you remove the starting quarterback, would it not be worse?
Yeah, sure.
So that's what I'm saying with Miami. I was losing with my starting quarterback 31-10. I don't even want to know what it looks like without my starting quarterback if I'm losing 31-10.
But Buffalo is a better team than the Cardinals, right? So then the Cardinals beating the Rams 41-10 as a lesser team than the Bills beating the Dolphins 31-10. Yeah, nah, bro. The Rams are definitely in worse shape. They have way more injuries. Because now they got to go up against the Niners.
Even when we talk about Tua, getting the ball to his weapons. Matt Stafford ain't got no weapons.
He ain't got nothing.
Matt Stafford's your top 5, right?
No, he wasn't. Aaron Rodgers.
Your top 5, right? No,
he did. He did see Aaron Rodgers.
Matt Stafford's on my short list of
yes.
Well, Matt Stafford better start elevating talent.
What I'm saying is,
but we didn't say anybody elevated talent like that.
In people's hands, who you trust know what to do with it, right? You can still get the ball to Tyreek. You can still get.
You say put the ball in people's hands who you trust, right? All right. Well, the ball's going into a hands of somebody who's not who you can't trust. Skylar Thompson getting that ball. That's going in his hand.
Every backup quarterback should be able to win you a game.
A game. Well, why are you my backup?
Zach Wilson won a game.
Every backup.
Rush.
Trey Lance can come Trey Lance
should be able to
He's
win.
He's not the backup
Hey,
Cooper Rush is.
No, but
Tyler Snooper.
no, I think Trey Lance. Yes, Trey Lance should be.
Marcus
But I'm
Marcus
saying
Mary.
backup. He's the third string.
Yeah, but I still think he's good enough to win.
Cooper Rush
I think quarterback should. Now, obviously, if you're going to tell me they come in against the Chiefs, no, I don't expect the backup quarterback to come and beat the Chiefs. But if you're giving me the field of games that they have, yes, he should be able to go in and win you a game.
Chad Henne came in and beat the Bengals.
So did in the playoffs.
Or the Browns, actually.
No, he finished the game.
Thank you.
Barely.
He didn't beat him.
Barely.
No, but
He finished the game.
Game-winning drive to win you.
He didn't.
He wasn't a start to finish.
Thank you. You giving him the credit for that? Come on, bro.
I can't let that.
Like I said, bro, Zach Wilson won a game.
So yes.
Come on.
Anyway, let's move on. Let's talk about some actual football. Let's talk about some actual.
They should. Now, whether they do or not, but
so the NFC. I want to start there. I want to start with the NFC. Which 2-0 NFC team do you guys believe? Which 2-0 NFC team do you guys believe in the most? Saints, Vikings, Bucks, or Seahawks?
Do we believe in
the most?
Saints,
Vikings, Bucks,
The Bucks.
Seahawks.
The Bucks.
The Bucks.
Seahawks.
I like.
Actually, you know what? Based off of this, I am gonna go Bucks. I had Seahawks in my playoffs, so obviously I'm gonna pick the Seahawks. But Bucks have looked really good, so I give them Bucks.
So you believe this trajectory is like
they're gonna make
this is who they are.
I think they're gonna make the playoffs. Yeah.
For me, you have some like it just feels like Baker. In terms of what he does for everybody else, it feels like everybody wants to play with Baker. Offensively, hypes Mike Evans up, and he has great weapons, like you said. Sprinkle a little McMillan in there, he'll stop dropping passes at some point. Like it'll be a team that we've seen grow together for a couple of years too. So there's less uncomfort with that. Kind of similar with Seattle in theory. I'm more confident in what they got going on. But Seattle's defense, it's still getting better. Like that's what's scary with them.
I had the Seahawks. I had the Seahawks in the playoffs as my 6th seed, so that's not much of a surprise for me. I did not have the Bucks making the playoffs, but I feel this team, and you guys will obviously probably agree with me on this, but this team will only go as far as Baker will take them. Now, I know that's scary to say.
Not really,
because it is in the eyes of some. It's scary. Like your season hinges on Baker Mayfield. Which Baker Mayfield is going to show up to the stadium that day?
I don't trust him.
That's
right.
I don't care how.
And it's fair. It's fair. Understandable. I just think he has.
I give him his due.
I trust him a little more.
No,
I think
I give him his due.
Right.
It was better.
Right. It was.
Tell some of the throws he was missing in the football, and it only comes down to.
Well, he got as many playoff wins as Dak Prescott.
I don't trust Dak either.
But I will. I trust nobody not named Josh Allen.
I don't do that.
That's exactly what it is.
Oh, and Pat Mahomes. That's it.
I trust CJ Stroud.
Hey, but the
Vikings. That's until a few weeks from now when they're in Houston. He ain't gonna be trusting CJ.
Stroud does. I just trust Josh to duel him, but I trust CJ Stroud.
Hey, the Vikings with Brian.
So 30 players out the league he trusts.
Got weapons. Darnold look
confident.
The Vikings shouldn't be slept on either.
The way the Vikings look, man, I swear this is a testament to Kevin O'Connell as a head coach.
For sure.
Like he is one of the most underrated coaches in the league, and we're seeing it now. I can't help but think the quarterbacks he's had and how he's been able to win games. He's won games with Sam Darnold. He's won games with Josh Dobbs. He's won games with Nick Mullins. He's won game with. Was he there for Case?
No.
He wasn't there for Case?
Nah, because he was just Kirk.
So he was able to not necessarily. I mean, yes, they went
12-4 with Kirk Cousins.
Right, they went 12-4 with Kirk, right? But he was able to. He had a situation where he lost his quarterback, but he was still able to keep that Vikings team competitive and in the playoff picture for most of the year. Man, Kevin O'Connell is hooping right now.
He's a good coach.
Is this a situation where Sam Darnold revises his career?
Yes.
Yes. Yeah.
So what does that mean for JJ?
Nothing.
Nothing.
It just means that Sam.
What happens to Sam?
So
Sam is starting somewhere in 2025.
So here's the scenario. The scenario is either going to be Sam has a great year and they make the playoffs, and they're just like, we're just gonna keep rolling with Sam because JJ is still young, so you don't have to worry about going through those rookie struggles and early, and then they just do like the Alex Smith, Pat Mahomes situation, where it's just like once they feel like he's ready,
They not in bad shape.
that's what I'm saying. Like they have weapons, so they're fine.
And look, the Bears are not competing really right now with Caleb until they step up. The Rams are beat up. The Packers lost Jordan Love. You have a bunch of teams who were going to be fighting for those spots, and it feels like it's open season. And the Vikings are 2-0.
And they just beat probably one of the better teams on their schedule with the 49ers.
That most people counted them for an L.
And they actually dominated that game where they pretty much led start to finish.
I agree, but no.
I mean,
if JJ is healthy next year, well, when he's healthy next year, no matter what happens, unless they win a Super Bowl, I'm starting JJ.
All right, so
I didn't bring in.
I didn't go against. I said JJ is a starter. I said
he said that he's not somewhere else that they go to the playoffs. And I don't care if you go to the playoffs. I'm not settling for, all right, you got me to the playoffs, so I'm gonna just keep rolling with you. I'm trying to get a Super Bowl, and Sam ain't gonna get me a Super Bowl. So I gotta go with JJ and see what he does. And a year of sitting there under his belt, since he's injured, a year of sitting there and learning, he should be good to go by next year mentally. And as long as his body holds up physically, he's good. A whole year of learning, I feel like there shouldn't be a question of putting him in next year. So if he does revive his career and Sam Darnold, is he on a 1 year?
Darnold?
Yeah.
I think he is on a 1 year, yeah.
I don't know.
If he's on a 1 year, then
if it's a 2-year deal, I think 1 year is guaranteed.
Yeah, if he's only on a 1 year, then yeah, that's
one. Yeah, so then he goes in free agency and see what he can make.
Okay, yeah. On a 1 year, yeah.
I'm
cool.
not about to resign that man.
No, yeah. No. I understand that. If I thought he was on like a multiple year, like short term deal, like low money deal.
All right, so now let's switch it to the AFC. Which AFC 0-2 team are you most concerned about?
Ravens.
Easy. No, he said NFC.
No, I said AFC.
Oh,
which AFC 0-2 team are you most concerned about?
Easily, the Ravens. No one expected them to be 0-2. And I picked both of those teams to make the playoffs, and they're both 0-2 right now. But I definitely didn't expect Baltimore to be 0-2. Baltimore can be 0-2. It's possible. It's slim. It's possible Baltimore starts 0-4. Probably won't happen. But they're on the road at Dallas this Sunday. Can you imagine the Ravens fan base?
So they
start 0-3.
So they have a tough schedule.
Yeah. They had their next 3 games: Dallas, Bills, Cincy.
Yeah.
Those are their next 3.
They don't have a game that they're kind of breathing easy
until you.
Yeah.
So Commanders.
Like right now, the Ravens fan base is just they don't know what to do themselves. They're 0-2.
Seriously, you said you trying to say things about you. Man. You did. You just had to make a comment.
Bro,
what?
Anyway,
they on the schedule.
I just feel like the fan base right now is their hair is on fire because the team is 0-2 and they don't know what to do.
Yeah, I'm.
I'm just saying. Like it's just the run game hasn't necessarily. The run game has been good as expected. I mean, when does a run game not look good for the Ravens? I don't think it needs to. Well,
wait, maybe
not
because I think we all going into this off season, going into the season when we found out that they got Derrick Henry. I think we all thought they would have utilized him differently than the way he's being utilized. Like I feel like they are limiting him so that Lamar can do more. And I'm like, why?
Maybe save him for later.
I mean, I don't love it. No, I know. Wait, well, not working. I don't love the idea because I've always been a guy that I don't mind Lamar running, but if you're designing 15 carries for him a game, like you're gonna beat him up. But I agree with you to that aspect that I think the limitations or how limited the usefulness of Derrick Henry, it coincides with the fact that they're trying to implement more of Lamar in the run game as well. It can work.
Not even just in the run game, but
It
just
can't
like
work.
why
At the very least, you can say that there's less tread come postseason for Derek because he's not getting 25 carries a game.
It's just
So-
you go 0-2, it kind of messes up that potential plan if you're not going to be in a spot that you're comfortable with. Going into the playoffs.
Answer is to run the ball more.
yeah.
So
To feed
here's my
Derrick
With
Henry.
Henry, yeah, in the fourth quarter,
I'm
he only
thinking-
has 3 touches.
Well,
That's
So
I mean, that's fair.
that's
I'm
not
thinking
good.
like Todd Downing's, whoever the Titans OC was. That's who I want.
When
Arthur Smith.
when
Will
in
Smith
2021?
was the he was on
no,
the
it was Downing.
It was
Downing
Downing,
was the because
I would love to have him in Baltimore because I feel like they should just run the Titans offense.
Downing struggled that year. The play calling for Downing wasn't good.
Well, no. In 2021, when he Derrick Henry got injured, but he was
Was it
on
2020?
pace. 2020 was a 2,000 yard.
Okay, so sorry, my fault.
That was the whatchamacallit year. The last year of
Arthur Smith.
Arthur Smith. Yeah.
Yeah, so I'm bringing in Arthur Smith or Todd Downing. Yeah, is who I would have loved to have. Wait, who is their OC right now?
The OC is Todd Monken.
Okay. So yeah, that's who I would have wanted. Who I would want run the same Titans offense with Lamar at the helm. Because to me, that's all you really. The reason why the Titans couldn't go further was because Tannehill was the quarterback. If I put Lamar there, I feel so much better about how that operates. Zay Flowers and
but Monken
Likely and Andrews.
But Monken wasn't a bad play caller last year when they had arguably the best run game in the league.
Yes, but
He's not the problem.
No, well, to me though, when you bring in Derrick Henry, I feel like you need to run a certain type of offense where you're doing things out of play action, where you're
He did that
running
last
it
year.
more with him.
Nah,
and not
it's a difference.
and less design runs and
It's a little different. I will say that the one thing that I don't like about Monken is the fact that when you get in these situations in the fourth quarter when you're up and you don't just try and keep running the ball. Like I think he tries to like do too much. It's like, oh, I'm just gonna fake him out and do this pass or something like that, and then you get a 3 and out, and all of a sudden like this team just has more opportunity to come back, which is what happened the past 2 years, where you're like last year and then yesterday.
But you said,
Oh, I was gonna say I want to bring the Jaguars.
oh well, no, he already brought the Bengals. I was gonna let him go ahead and touch on the Bengals.
Yeah, I just said the Bengals just because I'm just like, we know that the Ravens have their numbers, so when they play each other, it's more likely that the Ravens are going to win. So then, if you talk about these tiebreakers, if they were to have one, the Ravens probably be the team that wins said tiebreaker because the Bengals not only do they have losing streaks against the Ravens, they also do against the Browns. At least with Joe Burrow at quarterback. So in my thinking, I'm just like, the Bengals don't need this type of start because for divisional games, they usually don't have winning records in divisional games. So I think that would hurt them the most, which is why I would say the Bengals just for that purpose.
And you said
I was gonna bring the Jaguars to the table. I don't think in terms of what is at stake, it doesn't have the same stink as the Bengals or the Ravens. But in terms of Trevor Lawrence getting paid and your offense has scored 15 points a game thus far, Travis Etienne is rushing for less than 4 yards a carry. When you look at the foundation of this team and what they have coming up, they could easily go. They got the Bills next. They got the Texans after that, and then the Colts. I mean, that's really just Anthony Richardson can go either way. But looking at the Jaguars in terms of where they go from here after they just paid Trevor and they're not putting up points, what are we doing? If we're sitting at 0-2,
Man, that's an ugly loss.
Yeah,
Cleveland, with everything that's going on with the Browns right now, for them,
like
even the Jaguars defense has allowed 20 points or less both games.
And in the offense was supposed to be like the bright spot of the team because they lost players on defense.
Right.
So you thought, oh, they're gonna be able to score points with the additions that they made, with still having Evan Ingram. They added in Brian Thomas Jr., he's actually been good, and then you added in Gabe Davis to be that third guy, which you paid him $12 million for. Like, where is he? You know, Tank Bigsby.
Who's the
like 12?
Real quick, who's to blame?
who?
James.
It's gonna be Peterson.
I think I know your answer. Who's to blame?
For me, it's looking at Trevor now.
You've been looking at Trevor,
Right. I didn't.
Coach first before they look at the quarterback.
But at this point, it's like you see other quarterbacks.
I mean, I get
how they're able to potentially elevate people, and he has talent. Like it doesn't even feel like he needs to necessarily elevate.
I mean,
like Christian Kirk was able to pop in and be.
The thing is, Christian Kirk has been kind of ass these past.
I understand your point of view, but I already gave him a mulligan for Urban Meyer. Like,
sure did.
And you got your money now.
I mean, he got better under Peterson, but obviously, like right now, it's
much better. That's the thing. 55 million
from where he started as a rookie, a lot better.
55,
but I understand.
As an owner, I'm giving you $55 million a year to not make, just taking baby steps in terms of
he got to be putting up better numbers than Baker.
Absolutely, and your offense has to be. How much have they scored the past 2 weeks?
17 and 13.
Yeah, so 15 points a game.
Yeah, I'm paying $55 million quarterback for 30 points in 2 games against.
Yeah, for sure.
Against a defense that was missing individuals up front in the Dolphins.
Like he's literally the second highest paid.
I don't. Did Garrett play yesterday? I'm not quite sure. But I know he didn't practice all week. But I still expected them to put up more than 13 on the Browns.
He
for sure.
In 2 games, he only has 382 yards.
So less than 200 yards a game.
He had 220 against Cleveland and 162 against the
That's not. Nah, I'm
paying you 3 tackles.
$55 million. Not doing. Oh man, Jalen
QBR of 56.2.
Jalen Brunson is at the game in uniform.
Oh, he's an Eagles.
56.2 QBR. So far for
yeah.
No, 382 passing yards total, 1 touchdown, 56.2 QBR.
$55 million a year.
To be honest, like, and we know like he was, the highest rated quarterback coming out of college since Andrew Luck and Peyton Manning.
Mm-hmm.
And he's definitely not lived up to that.
Sure has not.
Is he headed toward bust status?
Nah, I think bust to me
too excited.
No.
It's always this way when it's always this
way coming out of college.
When it's AFC quarterback.
I didn't trust him.
I'm not saying you weren't.
Before I even knew where he was going, I didn't trust him.
It's not about when you said it. It's just the glee.
The glee of me being
bust means that you just didn't make it in the league. Not that you just didn't hit the ceiling that you were supposed to. Because if that's the case, a lot of players would be bust.
That's where all the good ones
are. So I'm not gonna say bust. Bust is a lot. But he just didn't reach the ceiling.
See to me, he had to add that a little bit on the end.
He was making sure he had the full contact.
Right. He always go to extra.
That is good. He just can't win in the playoffs. There's a lot of quarterbacks who just can't win in the
playoffs. Dude had one big
Joe.
Playoff game.
You quarterback hate list. Your quarterback hate list has a lot of AFC guys.
Well, that's where all the quarterbacks are. You even mention the NFC because
I'm being rude.
Y'all gonna get some at some point?
You talk about Kirko? You want to talk about Kirko?
I mean, y'all was supposed to in Caleb. Let's talk about that, huh? Because Caleb,
baby.
Caleb.
Who y'all play this week?
Huh?
Who y'all play this week?
Jags.
Damn.
Yeah, we win the Jags.
Hey, look, don't lose like last year.
But
yeah, you better not. Better not lose to Trevor.
We are 0-2 against him.
Against Trevor?
Against Josh Allen. That's what I said.
The real Josh Allen. He said,
"So what would you do or say if Trevor throws for 300 and a couple touchdowns and gets a win?"
I would be really surprised because he's not going to, but I would be really surprised. I would be speechless. I would come here and I would give him. I would just mope.
You will mope.
I would mope because
so like, Marqus would be hosting while you're just.
I'll be here sitting here pouting because I'm like, why do I make him look better than what he is? Like, what are we doing?
Like that. Yeah, the Bills lose.
No. He said, "Lit the Bills defense up to 300." I have 300 plus.
That's the defense.
Man, get DeMar Hamlin out my lineup, man.
Let me tell you something right now. If it's on DeMar, dog, you all already know. I'm not even gonna be here. It's a mental health day.
This Negro. That's all we're gonna be.
But before I go on, get into Caleb and them, real quick. Yeah, I agree with you, Bengals. That's where my concern is. And it's not even because, first of all, I understand that they've been 0-2 the last 2 years. This is their 3rd year. I think the odds of you continuing to exceed that are slim. Like, eventually that's got to run out. And and the odds will be what the odds are for normal people when they go 0-2.
That was a very emotional loss yesterday.
And then that was my next thing.
Yeah.
The vibe on this team
it's off.
It's
off.
And really, it's
Absolutely.
Jamar Chase is off the hinges.
Right.
He
Absolutely.
is off the hinges. He don't give a damn.
No, you are 100%.
He ready to fight his own quarterback.
Yeah.
Don't hold me like that, man.
That was pure emotion. Me. That was a frustrated wide receiver yesterday.
And I'm like, that is a wide receiver who ain't making money.
Money. Yep.
All the talk about Diggs, I'm like, bro, I've never seen Diggs push Josh. I'll tell you that right now. I've never seen him put his hands on Josh.
It looked like Jamar went out his way to be selfish. Like, he didn't care about what happened on the field. Like, you could tell the ref gave him like 2, maybe 3 chances.
No, I do think
him, like, to stop talking.
I do think
he just kept pushing.
Joe and Jamar, they have a better relationship dynamic than Josh and
I think you've forgotten how much they used to have the bromance of Josh and Diggs, and they played
these
video
two dudes
games
went to college together and won a national championship.
But there was a bromance.
Joe vouched for drafting Jamar. They asked Joe, "Who do you want to draft?" He said, "I want Jamar."
I understand.
It is different.
But in terms of how we put in Josh and
Diggs was a bromance.
Like,
the best in the world out there until it wasn't.
See Joe and Jamar's relationship ruining like Diggs and Josh out.
No.
No. It all really depends. I don't think that either. I don't think the relationship.
I'm talking just on the field. On the field. Yeah.
But they needed that win yesterday. And it's not only that they lost, but it's how they lost.
I tell you what, I don't believe that was pass interference, and I sat here and I argued with that man about it the whole time. I don't think it was pass interference. The ball's up. The ball's up in the air. The defender has just as much right to the ball as the offensive player.
Yes, but he's climbing through the player.
He's jumping up for the ball just like he has. But if he was going and trying to swipe his hand down and like being a defender, then I would have been like, yeah, that's a PI. But he's not defending. He's going up for the ball, which I have the right to do. We bump into each other. We're fighting for the ball. We have a right to it.
No, but it's different when you're behind him and you run through him to try and get the ball.
It's tough because Rasheed had the position. So it's not as though the odds are the same. This is why the whole offensive pass interference, defensive pass interference, when they throw the ball deep, but it's short, so the offensive player has to try and come back to it. And even if the defender is turned around looking at the ball, he can't impede the offensive player from coming back to the ball, even though the ball is short.
Why that left?
No, I'm talking
the helmet.
I'm just talking.
No, that's missed the ball. He was trying to get the ball. You saw in the
but I'm talking about
that he was trying to get his hand.
But that situation isn't for that play. I'm just talking about offensive pass, defensive pass interference for that situation. That's what happens. So it's in this same situation where it's like, even if you're both looking at the ball, you can't come back and impede him from catching it, even though
Rasheed is obviously
he's in front of you. Like,
he's obviously trying to catch it.
Rasheed, come on, you watched these still images? That's a joke.
No, but I'm saying,
you saw it. He went up for that ball.
He went up and hit him while trying to get it. You cannot do that.
Yeah.
Again, to me, if I have a right to the ball, if our hands hit, our hands hit. Like, we're both going up to the ball.
It wasn't just the hands. He literally made contact going through him,
bro. Like,
anyway, we got to make our picks.
Like, seriously, this is nuts.
Oh, right, bro, look.
Jumping up to go and get the ball.
I don't trust primetime turkey.
I am jumping up to go get the ball. I'm sorry. That's because you just said it a second ago.
We all are.
Player has to come back to the ball and you impede it. It's a defensive pass interference.
Yes.
And now here's a defensive guy trying to come back and get the ball, and it's still a defensive pass interference.
No, it's not. No, it's not.
Dog, because listen to me. This is what he said. He said if an offensive guy is going and they throw the ball deep and the ball's short, and the offensive guy now has to come back to try and get the ball, if the defender in front, it impedes him from being able to go forward and get the ball, it's a pass interference.
Yeah.
Now, I flipped it. So now the defender's behind, and now he's trying to come up and get the ball, and he impeded him.
He's not impeding him.
Still defensive.
He's not impeding him.
Okay,
hold on. Not impeding him? Because he's already in front of him jumping up for the ball, and the defender, ran and made contact to him, not the other way around.
Receiver to the ball and the defense
flip positions.
or
But the difference is.
But what are you proving? We've already known that.
What I'm saying, if you're agreeing,
So you're saying you have to change the rules then?
What I'm saying is, no matter what, if you flip their positions, you're gonna call defensive pass interference.
But this was
no, you're not.
You're not gonna call defensive pass interference if they flipped.
It was
if they flip
positions, do you think it's a defensive pass interference?
No, it's not a defensive
pass interference.
No, it's not.
With this play, if they switched and that's what
if they switched, it would not be defense interference. It would have been a no call.
Probably would have been a no call. But there's double standard. You're absolutely right.
Oh, so now it's a no call.
So you're saying if they flip,
that's why it's a
no, it doesn't.
Saying
if it's a no call, that's still a problem.
If it's a no call, game's over. If he intercepts it, game over. That's all I'm saying.
But I'm saying if it's a no call, if it's the other way around, then I'm still sitting here like.
Did you think that it wasn't illegal contact a couple years ago when they played in the playoff game and Mahomes got pushed out of bounds, that late hit?
I don't remember. I need to see it again. I really don't remember the play you're talking about. So you can pull that up. While you're doing that, let's make our picks real quick.
Eagles.
Eagles. You said the Eagles.
I don't trust primetime Kirk.
Nobody does. Pick Falcons if you want.
We take the Falcons, baby.
All right.
Falcons, baby.
Hold on now.
Why
now change it on Pick'em.
Why I gotta do that? You don't do that.
I don't believe you.
Wow.
That's right. On me, I like
put that man on the spot. On the show.
Only one saying Falcons. Choose it on Pick'em.
Yeah.
The Falcons are winning.
Bijan has to go crazy. I'm talking about 150 yards.
The Eagles have to.
It's the only way.
The Eagles have
Falcons have to.
The Eagles have to shoot themselves in the foot.
Okay.
Y'all not gonna force no turnover?
I think Kirk
that's part of
turnovers.
That's part of shooting themselves in the foot.
We still got to score.
No, Jalen has a turnover issue.
But
I'm saying we still got to score off of that.
Why can't y'all be the ones pulling the trigger? Why gotta be them shooting themselves? Why can't y'all?
Because we're not the better team.
Because we're not the better team.
We're not the better team. And they're at home.
With everybody in the house.
Yeah, so I'm good.
Bad for Booker.
And it's primetime Kirk.
Shut us up, please.
All right. Yeah, show them that you in the A now. New year, new you. Here we go.
New Achilles.
With that being said, I hope you all enjoyed. Please like, subscribe, rate, review, share on all socials. Join us on Patreon, all that good stuff. Till next time, I am Cordell.
Marqus.
He rock.
Till next time, be easy, be breezy, and please